Welcome back, dear viewers, to another emotional and unforgettable story on your favorite channel. Today, we dive deep into something that has shaken the entire entertainment industry and sent fans into a whirlwind of emotions. You've seen them together, laughed at their playful banter, cried at their on-screen chemistry, and cherished the rare moments where their bonds seemed to peek through the cracks of celebrity life. But now, the confession we all never thought we would hear has come to light. Wang Yibo has made a shocking confession about what it truly feels like to lose Xiao Zhan. Are you ready? Then let's begin this journey together, step by step, uncovering the truth that left everyone speechless. It all started with a quiet interview that wasn't meant to carry so much weight. At first, it seemed like just another casual sit-down, with Yibo being his usual cool, calm, and collected self. He leaned back, his eyes as unreadable as ever, yet his words that followed were unlike anything he had ever revealed before. The interviewer asked him a simple question about friendship, about the people who had impacted his life the most. Normally, Yibo would dodge, give a brief polite answer, or laugh it off. But this time, he paused. And that pause said everything before he even opened his mouth. Fans who watched the clip later described that moment as the silence that broke their hearts. You could almost see Yibo struggling, deciding whether to let his guard down. And then, in the most unexpected way, he confessed. He confessed about what it meant to lose Xiao Zhan. His words weren't rehearsed. They weren't carefully curated by a management team. They were raw, unpolished, and heartbreakingly real. Imagine you're there in that room, watching him as he admits it. His voice low, almost breaking. He said something that no one could have predicted. When you've had someone stand beside you through your most difficult times, and then suddenly, they're not there anymore, it feels like losing a part of yourself. Just like that, the confession dropped like a stone into still waters, sending ripples across not just the interview but the entire fandom community. You could hear the collective gasp of fans across the world. Some immediately cried. Others froze in disbelief. And some, those who had always believed in the unshakable bond between Yibo and Xiao Zhan, felt validated, finally hearing from Yibo's own lips what they had sensed all along. He wasn't just talking about a co-star. He wasn't just talking about a colleague. He was talking about Xiao Zhan, the person, the friend, the one who once walked side by side with him in a journey that redefined both their lives. The moment this confession aired, social media exploded. Weibo trended with dozens of hashtags, Yibo confesses about Xiao Zhan, Zhan bond unbroken, and even more heartbreaking, losing Xiao Zhan. International fans flooded Twitter and Instagram with translations, edits, and emotional threads, replaying the clip over and over, searching for every tiny detail. His expression, his tone, even the way his fingers nervously tapped the armrest of his chair. Every movement was analyzed, every second dissected. But what made this confession even more shocking was not just Yibo's honesty, but the weight of history behind it. You see, Yibo and Xiao Zhan's journey wasn't just about acting together in The Untamed. It was about how two young men, thrown into the harsh spotlight of fame, somehow found comfort and strength in each other. They faced storms, controversies, and immense pressure, but through it all, fans always believed their connection was something deeper than words. So when Yibo admitted to feeling the pain of losing Xiao Zhan, it wasn't just a personal confession. It was a revelation of how fragile yet meaningful their bond truly was. And fans, they didn't hold back. Many wrote open letters online, some directed at Yibo, thanking him for his honesty. Others reached out to Xiao Zhan's side, pleading for reconciliation, for healing, for a moment where the two could stand together once more. Now let me ask you, dear viewer, how do you feel hearing this? If you were sitting there in that interview, watching Yibo lower his guard and reveal his pain, what would you do? Would you reach out, place a hand on his shoulder, and tell him it's okay? Would you cry silently with him, because his loss feels like your own? Think about it. Because in that moment, Yibo wasn't just a star. He was a human being, vulnerable, longing, and mourning someone he cherished. As the confession spread, something incredible happened. Old clips of Yibo and Xiao Zhan together resurfaced online. Fans began rewatching behind-the-scenes videos of The Untamed. The laughter, the playful teasing, the way their eyes seemed to communicate things words never could. They remembered how Yibo once said that Xiao Zhan was someone he trusted deeply. They recalled how Xiao Zhan had praised Yibo's dedication and strength. Suddenly, every memory became heavier, almost bittersweet, like looking back at photos of a friend you no longer see every day. But here's where the story takes an even deeper turn. Yibo's confession wasn't just about sadness, it was also about realization. He admitted that losing Xiao Zhan taught him something about himself. It taught him the value of holding on to people, of cherishing them before it's too late. Sometimes, he said quietly, you don't realize how important someone is until they're not by your side anymore. Fans described this as the moment their hearts shattered, because they knew he was talking directly about Xiao Zhan. Now imagine Xiao Zhan himself, somewhere out there, hearing this. What would go through his mind? Would he be surprised, touched, hurt? Would he feel the same sense of longing, the same recognition that despite everything, what they shared was real and unforgettable? Fans could only speculate, but many believed that deep down, Xiao Zhan would understand. After all, he too had once spoken about how rare it was to find someone in the industry who truly understood him. And then came the emotional tidal wave from fans. They organized online projects, trending hashtags calling for the two to reunite. Some fans even sent handwritten letters to their agencies, pleading for collaboration again. Others shared their personal stories, how seeing Yibo and Xiao Zhan together had helped them through depression, loneliness, or grief. For them, this confession wasn't just celebrity gossip. It was personal. It was a reminder that bonds like theirs could heal people, even strangers across the world. Dear viewer, let's pause here for a moment. If you've ever had someone in your life that you lost, a friend, a confidant, someone who once stood by your side but isn't there anymore, don't Yibo's words hit differently? Doesn't it stir something inside you, reminding you of your own pain, your own longing? That's why this confession resonated so deeply. Because it wasn't just about Yibo and Xiao Zhan. It was about all of us, about the universal truth that losing someone we care about changes us forever. But the story doesn't end there. After the interview, Yibo was spotted looking unusually pensive during a public event. He didn't smile much, his gaze often distant, as though still lost in thought. Fans noticed. They whispered, "He's still thinking about Xiao Zhan." And maybe he was. Maybe that confession had opened old wounds, making him reflect even more on what he had lost. At the same time, something remarkable was happening on Xiao Zhan's side as well. Though he didn't directly respond, his fans noticed he shared a cryptic post, a photo of the night sky, captioned with just one word, memory. That was all it took to ignite another wave of speculation. Was it a subtle reply? Was it Xiao Zhan's way of saying he, too, remembered, that he too still carried the weight of what once was? The fandom, united in their emotions, began weaving hope from these small pieces. Maybe one day, they said, maybe one day they'll find their way back to each other. And that hope became a kind of fuel, a light in the midst of all the heartbreak. So here we are, dear friends. The shocking confession of Wang Yibo has done more than just stir headlines. It has reminded us of the fragility of human connections, the importance of cherishing those we love, and the pain that comes when we don't. His words, raw and unguarded, pulled back the curtain on a side of him rarely seen, a side that misses, that regrets, that longs. And now, I turn the question to you. Do you believe Yibo and Xiao Zhan's bond can be repaired? Do you believe that despite everything, two hearts once connected can find their way back? Or do you think that sometimes, losing someone is permanent, a lesson carved into the heart forever? One thing is certain, this confession will not be forgotten. It will live on in the memories of fans, in the stories shared, and in the silent prayers whispered for reunion. Whether or not Yibo and Xiao Zhan ever stand side by side again, what they gave us will always remain, a reminder of friendship, trust, and the bittersweet reality of loss. And as we close this emotional journey today, remember this. Sometimes, the most shocking confessions are not the ones shouted from rooftops, but the ones whispered in moments of vulnerability. Wang Yibo gave us one of those moments, and it will echo in our hearts for years to come. So tell me, dear viewer, what do you think?